Human population. In this, we are going to study characteristics of population, population explosion, common problems of adolescence, social and moral implications, mental health, and addictive disorders. Population is a group of individuals of a species occupying a definite geographic area at a given time. Species is a group of potentially interacting and interbreeding population, that is individuals, and can produce offspring. In Latin, populus means people. Population is not constant. It keeps on changing by addition or deletion. This is known as population dynamics. Study of population is demography. The term demography was first used by Gillard. Characteristics of population decide the structure, nature, and composition of any population. World Population Day is observed on 11th July every year. Characteristics of population: natality, that is birth rate; mortality, that is death rate; density, growth rate; age structure, carrying capacity; sex ratio, age distribution. Natality, that is birth rate. Natality is the rate of birth per unit time, per unit area, per 1000 individuals of population. Potential natality is the maximum number of new individuals produced by population under ideal ecological conditions. Realized natality is the actual number of individuals produced by population under available conditions. Potential natality is higher than realized natality. Natality equal to total number of new individuals born upon average population of that year into 1000. Mortality. Mortality is the death rate. It is opposite of natality. It is the rate of death per unit time, per unit area, per 1000. Specific mortality is the mortality rate due to natural death, that is due to old age. Realized mortality is the total number of deaths per unit time under adverse ecological conditions such as flood, earthquakes, accidents, etc. Realized mortality is greater than specific mortality. Mortality equal to total number of deaths in the year upon average population of mid-year into 1000. Density. It is the total number of individuals present per unit area or volume at specific time. Density is never constant but keeps on changing from time to time. Smaller the organism, more is the density. Density of a population reflects the success of species in the area. It is calculated as density D equal to total number of new individuals born divided by unit area. Density depends upon birth rate, death rate, rate of reproduction, migration, etc. Growth rate. Natality and mortality are two most important aspects of population growth. Increase or growth of population is the difference between natality denoted by n and mortality in particular time t. Growth rate equal to natality n minus mortality m divided by time t. Suppose the birth rate is 14 per 1000 per year and death rate is 6 per 1000 per year, then the growth rate is 14 minus 6 divided by 1000 equal to 8 upon 1000 equal to 0.008 into 100 equal to 0.8%. The growth rate is expressed per 100 persons or as percentage. Growth rate varies under different conditions. If natality is greater than mortality, then the growth rate of population increases, and if natality is less than mortality, then growth rate of population decreases. Age structure. The age structure of a given population refers to the proportion of individuals of different age groups such as young, old, adults within that population. Bodenheimer was the first ecologist to propose three major age groups in any population. First, pre-reproductive group, age from 0 to 14 years. It includes younger and sexually immature individuals. They are source of increase of population. High proportion of this occurs in rapidly growing or expanding population. For example, India. If their number is small, it indicates declining population. Second, reproductive group, age 15 to 54 years. It includes middle-aged and sexually matured, that is, childbearing capacity individuals. High proportion indicates increasing population. Third, post-reproductive group, 55 years onwards. It includes old individuals who have lost the childbearing capacity. Declining populations have a large proportion of older individuals. Sex ratio. Sex ratio is the number of females in a population per 1000 males in that population. Primary sex ratio is 1:1. In a developed country, the secondary sex ratio is also 1:1. In India, number of males is greater than female. Reason for this masculine population in most parts of India is neglect for girl child leading to higher mortality and sex-selective female abortions. Carrying capacity. Carrying capacity is the capacity of environment to accommodate maximum number of organisms. It is denoted by the letter capital K. When population reaches the carrying capacity of its environment, it has zero growth rate, that is, it becomes stable. Population explosion. Exponential growth of population in short period of time is population explosion. Illiteracy, poverty, lack of education, lack of family planning are some contributions towards population explosion. Increased lifespan, life-saving drugs, control of communicable diseases, decrease in infant mortalities are some reasons for population explosion. Impact of population explosion on human life. Impact of population explosion is caused due to relationship between the rate of population growth and the rate of availability of resources. Uncontrolled growth of population decreases growth of any country and also causes many socio-economic disturbances. According to T.R. Malthus theory, population increases in a geometric progression while food supply increases in arithmetic progression. The population increases and shows impact on resources like food supply, housing, health standard of living, education and employment. Impact on food supply. Increase in population increases the demand, which results into shortage, price hike, undernourishment, malnutrition, starvation, etc. Impact on housing. Overpopulation created the problem of overcrowding of houses, particularly in urban regions, development of slums, deforestation, problems of sanitation, disease spreading, pollution, etc. Living standard. Per capita income is less than number of dependents. More than 30% people living below poverty line. Impact on housing. Overpopulation leads to imbalance and shortage of food. This results in individual becoming weak and susceptible to diseases. Measures to control population explosion. The first national population policy was launched in April 1976. The aim of policy is to adopt small family norm as a way of life. Common problems of adolescence. The period between childhood and adulthood, where physical and mental development takes place, is called as adolescence. In Latin, adolescence means growing up. Adolescence period in girls is between 8 to 18 years and boys is 7 to 19 years. Sexual maturation is indicated externally called as puberty. During puberty, there is a change in neuroendocrine system. Mood shifts comes in adolescence due to fluctuations in hormone production. Thought of self-identify, self-esteem and self-respect are their prime concern. Adolescence is a phase of adult life and is a formative period of physical and psychological health. Most common adolescence problems are acne. It is a common problem of almost all adolescents found in both the sexes. It is side effect of sex hormones androgen and estrogen on sebaceous glands. Sebaceous glands of face swells due to bacterial infection. These swellings are called acne. Hypochondria. Undue concern of health is called as hypochondria. It is a psychosomatic disorder. Neurasthenia, inability to concentrate on work, leads to depression, fatigue, insomnia, irritability, etc. Phobia, fear of examinations, fear of parents, etc., called as phobias. They experience nyctophobias, that is fear from darkness, xenophobia, that is fear from strangers. It may be experienced by the victims of rape or robbery. Another very important problem is to know the forbidden things which may lead to addictions of nicotine, alcohol and drugs. Mental health. State of physical, mental and social well-being and not merely free from any infirmity. Mental illness. Mental illness shows depression, addiction, phobias, suicidal tendencies, etc. The various common types of mental illness are psychosis, neurosis, anxiety disorders, obsessive compulsive disorders, attention deficit disorders, and mood disorders. Addictive disorders. Partial or complete dependence of the individual on certain habit-forming substances is called addiction. An addict is so dependent upon the drugs that he cannot live without their daily dose. The amount required to produce the required effect increases with regular use. Smoking, drinking, and use of drugs are social diseases. Overwork, tension, encouragement by friends, etc. are the causes for addictive activity. Smoking. It is inhalation of smoke into mouth and lungs by burning tobacco in the form of bidi, cigarette, cigar, pipe, hookah, etc. Tobacco is derived from dried leaves of plants like Nicotiana tabacum and Nicotiana rustica. Cigarette smoke contains hundreds of toxic substances, many of which are toxic and linked with various diseases. The more toxic gaseous substances are carbon monoxide, hydrogen cyanide, nitrogen oxide, and furfural. The most toxic tar is an alkaloid called nicotine and nicotianine. Smoking and diseases. First, cancer. The substances like polycyclic hydrocarbon, methyl cholanthrin are carcinogenic and increase the chances of cancers of lungs, mouth, lips, esophagus, submucous fibrosis, etc. Second, respiratory diseases. The fine particles of tobacco smoke damage ciliary lining and leads to diseases like smoker's cough, bronchitis, asthma, emphysema, TB, etc. Third, cardiovascular diseases. Nicotine is stimulatory. stimulate excess secretion of adrenaline, which increase rate of heartbeat and increase the risk of hypertension. Carbon monoxide present in smoke reduces oxygen carrying capacity of HB and leads to the disease called anoxia. Other effects. Smoking increases the chances of gastritis, stomach and duodenum ulcers. Smoking reduces longevity, cause amblyopic, that is impaired vision. Control measures. Indian government observes every year 31st May as No Tobacco Day. This chart in short summarizes the type of addiction, that is smoking, its content, that is nicotine, tar, carbon monoxide, polycyclic hydrocarbons, and its effects like increase in BP, chronic bronchitis, ulcers, emphysema, cancers of mouth, throat, lungs, heart diseases, etc. Alcoholism. Physiological and mental dependence on alcohol is called alcoholism. In this, the person cannot pass even a single day without drinking alcohol, thus becomes addicted to alcohol. Such person is called alcoholic. This chart summarizes the type of addiction, that is alcoholism, its contents, that is ethyl alcohol, and its effects like fatigue, nausea, vomiting, edema, causes loss of self-confidence, muscular coordination, judgment, impaired vision, gastritis, liver cirrhosis and increase in BR, cardiovascular problems, renal and sexual problems, accidents, becomes a nuisance to the community and provokes social crimes. Drug addiction. Drug is any chemical substance that, when taken, alters the functioning of body and thus it is used in medical treatment. The severe physical and mental dependence on such drugs is called drug addiction, and person who has developed such addiction is called drug addict. Drug abuse is defined as self-administration of drug for non-medical reasons. Drugs and their effects, that is physiological symptoms. According to their actions in the body, drugs are classified as sedatives, tranquilizers, opiate narcotics, stimulants, hallucinogens. This chart shows the different types of drugs, their examples and their effects.